Welcome to Dateline Health. We come to you from the Alan B. Levan, NSU, Broward County Center of Innovation. And we have our first group of people that have done a healthcare startup participating with Alan B. Levan, NSU, Broward Center of Innovation. And I guess we have Mary Beth Cicero, who is a co-founder of Three Daughters, and we also have Nikki Varadia, who's a project manager. Tell me how to say it.
It's Digitrack.
There you go, Digitrack. See that? I mean, you see, sometimes, I even make a mistake, which is not often. So anyway, Mary Beth and Nikki. Nikki, you're on screen. So tell us all about this particular startup.
Sure. So I actually have our founder here with us, Ravi Varadia. He is the head surgeon and kind of the idea behind Digitrack. So I think I'll let him actually give the explanation as to why he decided Digitrack should be an invention and idea.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ravi Varadia. I don't know if the screen's on me or not, but just to let you guys know a little bit background. So Digitrack actually was founded during the COVID times. So what exactly it does is it looks at measurements in your hand. And as an orthopedic surgeon background, I was a hand surgeon before. I'm training now in plastic surgery. We like to look at people's hands and look at their measurements. And this is how we can track them, whether they're getting therapy for a broken finger, a broken hand, an injury, carpal tunnel. And so when COVID happened, the therapists and the surgeons took a big hit because they couldn't bring their patients into their office anymore. They had to kind of go through the telehealth, Zoom, all these platforms we're using now, which, by the way, makes it easy for us to communicate, but it's hard to kind of do an exam on a patient. And so during COVID, I was training in hand surgery, and I saw my attendings at Connecticut, where I did hand, using their goniometers, which is almost like a protractor. So if you remember back in mathematics in school, you're looking at angles. But putting that up to a screen is not going to be as accurate as actually using a measurement device and actually using a software. And so that's where we came up with this idea. How can we measure the joints of your fingers? I mean, each finger has three joints that can be measured. So you got your joint here, you got a joint there, and you got a joint here, and you got two in your thumb. This device can measure all the joints simultaneously. And as you move, it gives you the numbers. And so that's what we developed. And we used innovation through computer scientists, doctors, lawyers, people like Nikki, using the NSU Innovation and Broward Health to help us push this forward. So Nikki, I think you have a video to show the audience here to give them a better idea. Okay. So yeah, here's our platform. So what you see is when you log into the website, you can do this through your phone or your computer, your iPad. You log in as a doctor or patient. So in this case, you have a doctor and a patient portal. We're clicking on the patient portal. So you're the patient clicking on this image. What you go is you go to your test patient, or in our case, patient. You put your hand up on your camera and you take a picture. That picture then gives you these numbers as you see on the right side. All these different poses will give you angles and degrees of your measurements simultaneously. These will get sent to the doctor where he can go in through his side on the portal at his computer in his office or at home, or the therapist, and they have all that information. The next thing, here's a video that I spoke about earlier, how it moves in sync and in time. So you can see the numbers changing. And these numbers are very important. One, for getting the data you need for your notes, but also two, for patients to be able to see, are they improving based on what the therapist sees? And then disability scores. So if you get hurt and you need to get money per month for a disability score, they use these numbers to get you paid per month, the insurance companies. So that's why these numbers are so important for patients when they're out of work for a few weeks, when they injure their hands, as well as in the military. So that's another big thing where this can come into play.
Okay. So, Nikki, you're the project manager. What do you have to say now?
For moving forward in terms of project management, we are currently in the phase where we are pitching to venture capitalists. We are raising money through grant applications. We went through Nova Southeastern University's Incubate program, which we successfully completed. And I pitched DigiTrack at the pitch night in August of 2022. It was an exciting venture, and we hope to keep continuing to grow our company and evolve our product to include more hand joints and other joints of the body as well.
And Mary Beth Cicero, CEO and co-founder, Three Daughters, how is your involvement with this particular innovation?
Well, first of all, Fred, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and actually an honor to be on here because, like DigiTrax, I was I was in the first cohort of the Incubate program at the Levon Center. So the Levon Center has been very supportive of our endeavor. And Three Daughters is basically all about women's healthcare, actually evolutionary healthcare for women. And the program really helped me to formulate ideas around starting the company. And our technology is quite different from Nikki and Ravi's because it's a device, but it's regulated as a drug. And what we have is a frameless IUD, intrauterine device for contraception. It's based on physics and geometry, and it's going to address the insertion pain and other problems of the T-shaped IUDs that are on the market now. And those IUDs have been on the market for basically 40 years, and the design hasn't changed. And women have been putting up with this pain for over 40 years.
Okay, so but it must be very, I guess you could say, a very proud moment and a very appropriate moment for your work with the DigiTrack program, and because I don't think that our viewers would recognize how important it is for. We're talking about the hand right now, but I would assume that there will be some opportunity to understand other moving parts of the body, i.e., for example, the leg. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, you start from the hands, go to the shoulders, elbows, knees, all the joints. You are correct.
Yeah, because you hear so much about shoulder and hip and foot problems.
Yeah, and one of the things that DigiTrack is, we even thought about that once we get this kind of commercialized, that the system itself can be applied to other joints. So once we kind of get the hand, because hand injuries are one of the most common injuries that you'll see in the emergency rooms. So that's why we focused on that with my background. But then as you stated, shoulders, knees, hips, patients fall, they break something or they bruise something. The next thing is looking at volumetric analysis. So looking at the image and seeing it as swollen and it telling us, well, that left hand is more swollen than that right hand. And we can tell just by an image that something's wrong. It needs to go to the ER. Instead of him having to take a whole trip or her having to take a whole trip to the ER, she can get this system to help her or help him guide them in their treatments.
Yeah, because I mean, again, not to make it oversimplistic, but the bottom line is that this first innovation venture, is really like putting a business card out and saying we're just beginning to do other things. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, Nikki, you must be very proud of knowing that this particular venture is involved with the Alan B. Levin NSU Broward Center of Innovation. And it's good for people to know, number one, that we have this very, very newly, highly successful innovation center that is reaching out to people throughout, not only the state of Florida, but throughout really the whole corporate and international market to let us help you bring products and devices and whatever, nutrition, etc., to the general public. Is that correct, Nikki?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the greatest things about the Levan Center and Nova as a whole is that it's kind of converting South Florida into a major hub for medical research and just research advancement in general. My background stems from clinical research, so it's so fantastic to finally have something close to home where we can say, hey, we're competing with, some of the world's largest tech companies or research companies, and it's so exciting to be a part of Nova as it evolves to that level. And hopefully Digitrack can continue to work with NSU, which we would love to do. We're actually speaking with Nova's occupational therapy school, the physical therapy, maybe the DO and MD schools to get Digitrack on site in locations for beta testing so that, the students can get their hands on it and we can get their feedback and they can get involved with some research as well.
Well, just to give you a piece of information to all of you, we are about ready to start initiating the redoing of a very large building, which used to be the Dolphin facility, which is going to be a simulation center. And it looks to me like this particular venture, which comes through the Innovation Center, will play a wonderful part in partnering with the Simulation Center, because it really is something which belongs in any teaching venue that is dealing with healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely. Digitrack is something abstract in that regard that can be simulated, and the more people we can get in front of it, the better. And we look forward to partnering with NSU as well.
Mary Beth Cicero, the Three Daughters venue or unit is interested in women's care. Is that true?
Absolutely, Fred. I absolutely agree. And I'm working closely with the Levan Center now. The director, John, is tremendous. I've worked with Sydney and Terry and Yap, and they're actually supporting me to go to BioFlorida and pitch Three Daughters. And I do want to mention, because women's health gets overlooked so frequently, and we're addressing just one thing right now, but this is our starting place because there are so many women's health conditions that just aren't well treated or neglected. And we're starting with IUD pain, but our technology has the ability to deliver other pharmaceutical agents to the uterus. And we feel that can address a number of problems for women that really don't have good options right now. The technology came out of a university in Massachusetts, and the inventor was a well-known veterinary reproductive specialist who developed this initially for horses. So that's the great thing, is that it's already been proven to be safe and effective in horses. And now we're proceeding with the clinical development plan going forward. But I'm based here in Fort Lauderdale. I've had a lot of support from Todd Holt here in Fort Lauderdale, BioFlorida, and others. And we just raised our first pre-seed round, and we're looking for investors in Florida. So I didn't want to miss the opportunity to say that on your show and to just thank the Levan Center. But we do plan to have a presence here in Florida as well as in Massachusetts.
Florida has so many fantastic universities and also healthcare locations and hospitals. So right now, Digitrack is in a stage where we're actively searching for beta testing sites. We are looking to partner with occupational therapists and physical therapists who want to try out this product themselves. And, doesn't even have to be on patients. We're looking to get them to just try the product with their own hands, see how they feel, see how they think it could be improved. And so if anyone is interested, we would love to talk and love to set up a meeting or, set up a presentation just like we did at Nova.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we know that. I'm sure you know that our School of Physical Therapy is located in 4 different sites around the state of Florida. And we are looked upon by the medical community as an exceptional premier venue relative to the people that we train, teach, give knowledge, empathy, understanding. And that is why I'm so proud of the fact that we're entering into this innovation project, because it really is symbolic of what we all believed would happen almost 12 years ago. So I want to thank you for your intent and your activity. Back to you, Mary Beth. You heard what I said to Nikki. It goes for you as well.
I, again, absolutely agree. I've been so impressed with Nova. I don't think I mentioned, but I moved here from Boston actually right before COVID, and I had never really thought of Florida as a medical / biotech hub. But since I've been down here, it's really so impressive what the Levon Center has done. And I had the pleasure of actually meeting Alan Levon at the grand opening. And it just shows the difference that sometimes what one person can do. And I think as entrepreneurs, Ravi and I were talking before you joined, Fred, and it's, we want to encourage, I think, every entrepreneur out there to, one, if you have an idea, especially here in Florida, the Levon Center is a great place to start to flesh that out and make the contacts that you need to move forward. And from being one of the first cohort, I have their support. I've pitched over at the center. Their pitch room is incredible. And they're helping me now with investors and are linked to BioFlorida. So I think there's only a bright future. And I mean, living in Fort Lauderdale, we have a sweet airport. It's easy to get in and out of. I'm used to the Boston community where everything can be a nightmare, so to speak, in terms of traffic in the airport. And there are so many universities in Boston, but here you really get individual attention. And what Nova is doing, and the Levon Center, I can't say enough good things about it. And I hoped when I walked up to Mr. Levon at the grand opening, I said, I hope that 3 daughters, our women's healthcare company will be one of the first companies to be funded from the Levon Center. And I'm hoping that that's true, because we just raised our pre-seed round and are now looking for the next round that will take us through our first clinical study.
Well, that's the intent of the NSU, Nova Southeastern University Broward Center for Innovation. The intent has been to create the opportunity for us to have the ability to put our hands out to people such as yourself and say, how can we help you, not as necessarily a partner, but necessarily as a corporate and business and education opportunity for you to function and be privileged to be successful in your endeavors. That's what the Innovation Center is all about.
I couldn't agree more. It was a pleasure actually getting to know Ravi and Nikki, because I think that there can be more collaboration with the different companies at the center, with the medical companies. I know there's a lot of focus on cybersecurity, but I'd like to see more medical technologies, come to Florida. It's, a great state, great workforce, great academic institutions. I know I keep calling it NOVA. I didn't realize it merged. So I guess I should be saying NSU. But again, it's very impressive. And I can't emphasize enough how helpful it's been to me. Not only, I don't want to mean that it's all about money and investors. Unfortunately, we can't do development without investors, but I think both, Ravi, Nikki, and I mean, being an entrepreneur is tough stuff. You don't do it unless you love it. I mean, Ravi and Nikki, their experience in plastic surgery is going to do wonders. And again, my experience, I've had a longstanding career dealing with every aspect of women's health. And now it's my chance to pay back and do something, hopefully, that will spur more innovation in women's health.
No, that was wonderful. And Mary Beth and Nikki, thanks for providing your insights. And I echo Mary Beth in stating that working together in this innovative realm with medical companies, how we can help each other out, whether it's using a platform that someone has developed in order to jumpstart someone else's devices into an application that every person can use on their phone, to get that information to them about that device or how to use it. There's so many ways we can integrate each other's companies at sometimes, or even ideas. And then with DigiTrack, a lot of it, like we were talking about, having to do with the angles, a lot of it just helps the therapists, the physicians, and the patients. It saves a lot of time. It allows us to continue to help not only treat patients after they've had an injury, but possibly prevent injuries too. From somebody stretching themselves too much or having a swelling that they end up causing more damage to if they keep using something. How they can just get on their phone and Zoom call their therapist and show them how their hands are working. The other thing is, we're also in the phase now with beta testing where we have used it on over 90,000 images of hands and people through AWS, Amazon services. And so really what we're doing is validating it. And also at the same time, as Mary Beth was speaking of, raising funds. So we're also going through a pre-seed round as well. We've pitched this at Harvard and we've been in the top 3. I've actually presented it at our American Society of Plastic Surgery and won the innovations competition, which is all plastic surgeons in the United States and the world that attend and actually vote on the innovation. So past presidents of the society were there and said that you are the plastic surgery innovator of the year because this device will help change lives of hand surgery patients and people overall in orthopedics.
Well, congratulations. That's quite an achievement, and we're proud to be involved with a venture that is being recognized as not only important but unique. Thank you all very, very much. We appreciate it. This is really the first opportunity we've had to focus on the Innovation Center and a relationship of partnership. Remember, this program comes to you from Nova Southeastern University. If you have any questions or you want any comments, we have an email address and a telephone number right here, and we'll bring it on to the people who are participating in the program today. So my name is Fred Lippman. This show is called Dateline Health. Until next time, see you.